the Black Pullet. Now, this is actually one of the most famous of the grimoires, and yet, over the last 100 years or so, it's gotten very little attention as it is. Instead, most people take the many talismans and images from the book and utilize them in different ways, either doing sort of more modern types of spells or just simply reproducing the image and putting it into a mojo bag. A lot of different ways of approaching this stuff, but very few people have actually tried to work it really the way that it is. Part of the reason for that is that the construction of the story leaves out a few details. So several years ago, a business partner and I decided that we were going to make all of the Black Pullet talismans, and indeed we did. And so we made all of the talismans in satin, the way that they are supposed to be. It's a little hard to see in here. In the grimoire, in the colors that are described in the grimoire. And we also, I designed and created all the rings. It's really interesting to watch them come to life out of the book and into the real world. So I did that a few years ago, and we've been sharing them with the world since then. But my partner and I were discussing it, and he thought it might be a good idea to create a small temple book of the Black Pullet talismans and how they're supposed to be utilized. Now the lighting in here is a little bit awkward. So we've created a full color hardbound book that has every one of the talismans in it, what you're supposed to do with the talisman, and along with that, a brief kind of description of, you know, the magical work that you're supposed to do in order to utilize these talismans in a practical sense in the way that it was designed in the original grimoire. However, that really didn't seem to be enough to me. There's a number of different things going on. First of all, there's another book called The Treasure of the Old Man of the Pyramids that utilizes a similar storyline and a similar kind of presentation of talismans, and but they're different talismans. And there are a lot of people that feel that it is the older and correct version, and the Black Pullet is actually a reproduction. Through a great deal of research in old French books, we've pretty much eliminated that as a possibility. The Black Pullet is almost certainly the original, with the Treasure of the Old Man of the Pyramids and the related Genie of the Old Man of the Pyramids are actually copies of the original Black Pullet. And so I created this second book, which is called A Modern User's Guide to the Black Pullet. And this particular cover of this book is only going to be available during an Indiegogo campaign that's going on right now. Afterwards, it's going to look a little bit different, but the contents will be basically the same. So this is actually a limited edition cover of this book. And in this book, we discuss a little bit of the history of the Black Pullet, which we've done literally hundreds. We've probably researched the Black Pullet more than anyone has in the past 100 years or so. We've got a history section on it, and then some practical advice on how you might integrate the work with the Black Pullet talismans and its sort of system of magic within the greater sort of grimoire traditions, and how to kind of take some of the missing pieces from some of the other traditions and bring it in. And then it contains 3 or 4 separate ways in which you can approach doing the work, from a more modern perspective to a very traditional perspective to a very sort of eclectic perspective. There's a number of different approaches on how you can actually utilize these things in a practical way and get real results and make actual spirit contact with the beings that are associated with this system of magic, which is quite potent. The amazing thing about this is how little attention has actually been given to this working for a while. But so these books and these talismans, and you can sort of see it a little bit. These circles that are behind me, these are all now available as part of an Indiegogo campaign, and they'll continue to be available. But if you're lucky enough to be watching this video while the Indiegogo campaign is going on, it's only got a few more weeks left in it. You're going to be able to get these things for a fraction of the amount that they normally cost. These talismans are quite time-consuming and difficult to make, and they're fairly expensive. But you can actually get them as part of this program a very reasonable price, and you can get both or either one of these 2 books that are available and these circles at various levels. A number of the most the biggest bargains have already been taken, so I will include a link in the comments below. So come check out the Indiegogo campaign and join it right away. We're already over halfway there, so that's about all I have to say about this. See you later.